my biggest story ever.
You've double-checked your sources?
Triple-checked them, Chief.
Then let's run with it. Nobody in the world sells more real estate than RE/MAX.
RE/MAX Associates average more experience and more sales than other real estate agents.
Why in the world would you ever call anyone else?
Exactly.
This was quite the scoop, Ace. What tipped you off?
Let's just say there was something in the air.
We're all a part of the Circuit City customer service team. From the minute you walk in the door, our goal is to give you 100% customer service.
We want you to have the best shopping experience ever.
If you're looking for a new TV, Circuit City can make it easy for you. So you just tell us the size of your room, and we'll help you pick out the perfect TV and screen size.
Right now, you'll save on this 27-inch TV with stereo sound. Take control of your home theater with the universal remote and enjoy 2 shows at once with picture-in-picture. Now just $329.99. Plug into low prices at Circuit City.
What a pair that used to do this suddenly did this.
Introducing Pantene Strengthening Complex to help stop hair from breaking. Spray it on and leave it in. It's like an emergency room for your hair.
New Strengthening Complex bonds protein to protein, adding structure and strength.
What if good things could happen to bad hair? New Pantene Strengthening Complex.
It's more power to you. New from Pantene.
He's a mob boss with a problem.
I got stress.
Robert De Niro.
You are my shrink.
Billy Crystal.
You don't hear the word no very often, do you?
And lies this.
I hear it all the time, only it's more like, no, please, no, no.
Rated R. Starts Friday, March 5th.
Having trouble getting the family to eat wheat bread? Try butter-topped home-fried wheat. They'll love the soft texture and light, thin crust. You'll love the nutrition. Only 1 gram of fat and cholesterol-free. Hey, looks like you figured out how to get the family to like wheat bread. Home-fried wheat, the taste that brings healthy bread home.
I'm going to try and leave work early today.
Number 22 is leaving early.
New 160 horsepower Civic SI Coupe from Honda. What about now?
U.S. Bank makes getting a home equity loan fast and simple. Qualifying by phone takes as little as 10 minutes. There are no closing costs, fees, or points, and you'll like the low rates and low monthly payments. A home equity loan from U.S. Bank. It's a wonderful tool for saving time and saving money. Call and apply now.
Dr. Drew helps improve your sex life. KOMO's Town Meeting Sunday.
March 3rd, 1999.
In the beginning, the denials were categorical.
There is not a sexual relationship, an improper sexual relationship, or any other kind of improper relationship. I'd like for you to have more rather than less, sooner rather than later.
How you doing, Micah? Micah! You have sexual relations with the president?
I can say with absolute assurance the President of the United States did not have a sexual relationship because I have heard the President of the United States say so.
These allegations are false. False. False.
But by this evening, everyone knew what she was talking about.
An affair without sex, still called an affair?
I think so. I consider that I had an affair with the president and we didn't have sex. Well, intercourse. So.
Tonight, looking back.
From ABC News, this is Nightline. Reporting from Washington, Ted Koppel.
Even before the interview this evening, we knew what they had done. We knew what he said. The Linda Tripp tapes even let us know how Monica felt. Indeed, there has never been a presidential indiscretion about which more has been known. So much was known, in fact, that by the time it reached the U.S. Senate for the president's impeachment trial a few weeks ago, The senators and much of the American public really didn't want to know anymore. And yet, Barbara's interview with Monica Lewinsky earlier this evening still had the power to fascinate. So this is the young woman who nearly toppled a president. A little more complex, perhaps, than we had expected. Flirtatious, manipulative, very expressive eyes, disingenuous, always an undercurrent of sadness. A little different, though, as she noted, from the way she's been portrayed for more than a year now. What we're going to do tonight, with that portrayal still fresh in your minds, is give you a chance to superimpose it over the events of this past year, as we all saw them the first time. We'll do that in a moment. But first, my old friend Barbara Walters joins me now. And Barbara, I must say, the part of the interview that stuck out the most was when she was talking about how the president had told her what a liar he's been all his life. And I thought, my Lord, where have I heard that before?
I asked her that, as a matter of fact, and it was not on the tape. We only had 2 hours. I said, remember when you said those words that haunted you? And she said them back to me. Yes, I have been a liar all my life. And she said that she had said them to Linda Tripp when Linda Tripp was saying that she was going to expose the fact that Monica had this relationship with the president and she couldn't lie. And Monica said, why not? Everybody lies. I've been a liar all my life.
Yeah, in a sense, though, I got the feeling that there were 2 kindred spirits here, Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky.
Strangely enough, they had different things in common. I don't mean different things, the same things. They were both had difficult childhoods. They were both very concerned about their weight. They talked about it to each other. And I think what you saw tonight is that they were both extremely needy. We know that she was. We understand why she wanted to have this relationship. But why was he so needy? And remember that when he said to her, I have had all of these women, and I thought of getting divorced, he is also, in a way, and this is maybe the gentle side of it, telling her about himself to say, I can't do this anymore. I have to stop. In the eyes of God, this is no good. But the relationship didn't stop. He would still continue to reach out, even if it was just phone calls.
Quickly, if you would, Barbara, this sense of sadness that I felt about her, you were telling me it was much more than just sadness.
Oh, I think that she really felt suicidal. She has been on Prozac, she told me now, for quite a while. She still is. I think that her mother and father, when she said that they also considered suicide, this was not just being dramatic. There was so much pressure on them. All of their private lives, all of the baggage of a bad divorce came out. And these were people who were desperately unhappy. And Monica, when she says she knows she has to heal, she does. She has a lot of healing to do. The worst may be over, but she really has to find out who she is and what she is and where on earth she wants to go from here.
All right, Barbara, I know it's been a long day for you, but we've got a lot to look at yet. In a moment, you've seen it all before, but you've never seen it quite like this.
This is ABC News Nightline, brought to you by Lexus.
The 1999 Lexus ES 300. More powerful than ever, without losing so much as an ounce of civility.
Oh man, it's early. Did they test through the router? We're merging 2 totally different bank networks. Gotta work seamlessly. Seamless. AT&T says it's ready to go. Either gonna be the hero today or hiding in the John, right? Hero. Yeah.
Everyone and everything working together in a whole new way.
Don't miss the trip of a lifetime all this week, only on Wheel of Fortune Scandinavia Week.
Weeknights at 7 on KOMO ABC4.
We're all a part of the Circuit City customer service team. From the minute you walk in the door, our goal is to give you 100% customer service.
We want you to have the best shopping experience ever.
If you're looking for a new TV, Circuit City can make it easy for you. So you just tell us the size of your room, and we'll help you pick out the perfect TV and screen size.
Right now, you'll save on this 27-inch TV with stereo sound. Take control of your home theater with the universal remote and enjoy 2 shows at once with picture-in-picture. Now just $329.99. Plug into low prices at Circuit City.
Come to Northgate Mall's Used Car Super Sale.
Over 1,427 cars and trucks.
The Northgate Mall Used Car Super Sale starts Friday at 3.
With all our changing weather, we'll be here in the morning with your newest forecast and help on your morning commute on KOMO 4 News at 5 and 6.
Tomorrow, prostate cancer screening. Are you better off not knowing you have it? Can early detection bring unnecessary treatment? Watch ABC's World News Tonight with Peter Jennings.
And the notion of this kind of a story was the furthest thing from our minds.
Good evening from Havana, where one of the day's big stories has begun to unfold. One of them, the Pope is here. The other very big story of the day is in Washington.
ABC News has learned that President Clinton, as well as his close friend and advisor Vernon Jordan, are under investigation by the independent counsel Kenneth Starr for possible witness tampering and obstruction of justice.
McCurry would not go one scintilla past that. Not a bit. Did he curse? Did he say, I am outraged? Outraged! We have no answers. Did he never had any improper relationship with this woman, Monica Lewinsky? Although her name did not pass McCurry's lips.
Tripp secretly recorded telephone conversations she'd had with Lewinsky.
What did Ms. Lewinsky say in her conversation?
The president adamantly denies it, and I smell a rat and all this. And
do you think it's entirely fabricated?
We'll dig it out.
Do you think it's fabricated?
I don't. Is what? I don't know what it is.
There is no improper relationship.
Define what you mean by that.
Well, I think you know what it means. It means that that there is not a sexual relationship, an improper sexual relationship, or any other kind of improper relationship.
You had no sexual relationship with this young woman.
There is not a sexual relationship. That is accurate. We are doing our best to cooperate here, but we don't know much yet. What I'm trying to do is to contain my natural impulses and get back to work.
What do you mean by an improper relationship?
I'm not going to parse the statement. I'm not going to parse the statement. I'm just not going to parse the statement. I'm not characterizing it beyond what the statement, my own good judgment tells me not to try to parse this statement.
You and the American people have a right to get answers. I'd like for you to have more rather than less, sooner rather than later.
Now the independent counsel is directly targeting Vernon Jordan.
I assisted her in trying to find employment. I recommended a very competent Washington lawyer. Ms. Lewinsky told me that she did not have a sexual relationship with the president.
It may, as you will hear later in this program, ultimately come down to the question of whether oral sex does or does not constitute adultery.
According to the source, Lewinsky says she saved, apparently as a kind of souvenir, a navy blue dress with the president's semen stain on it.
I believe that the allegations are completely untrue.
I'll second that.
Late today, we found in our tape library video from an event at the White House.
How you doing, Monica? Monica, did you have sexual relations with the president?
Hey, pal, get your arms off her. Get your arms off her. Hey, leave her alone. Get out here. Get your hands out of here, you moron.
But there's one question. Is he telling the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? If he is, he can survive. If he isn't, he can't.
If he's not telling the truth, I think his presidency is numbered in days. This isn't going to drag out. We're not going to be here 3 months from now talking about this.
I can say with absolute assurance the President of the United States did not have a sexual relationship because I have heard the President of the United States say so.
Has denied it to his staff, has denied it to the news media, has denied it to the American people, and denied it to his cabinet, and denied it to his friends.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman. These allegations are false. False, false.
The president's job approval rating is still high.
The great story here is this vast right-wing conspiracy conspiring against my husband.
If an American president had an adulterous liaison in the White House and lied to cover it up, Should the American people ask for his resignation?
Well, I think that if all that were proven true, I think that would be a very serious offense.
And I need to go back to work. I'm going to do what I was hired to do. I'm going to just do my job, focus on my public responsibilities, do the work for the American people.
Mr. Speaker, the President of the United States.
Our leadership in the world is unrivaled. Ladies and gentlemen, the state of our union is strong.
79% say they approved of most of it, 15% disapproved.
The power of Kenneth Starr at this moment in history can be gauged by the media mob that now envelops his rare public appearances.
Our job is to gather facts and to evaluate those facts and to get at the truth. We should find out what the facts are. Seek the facts. Let's deal with the facts. What are the facts? Let's let those facts come out.
This started out as a $40,000 land deal that lost money, and about $50 million, and 5 years later, after nobody could find anything, we wiring up people in hotels, feeding them whiskey, trying to get them to talk and everything else. This is a scuzzy investigation.
I try not to comment. I can't comment. Can't comment.
I just can't comment.
Have anything to report tonight?
Stings and wires and traps. Squeezing, threatening, that's their job.
Oh, yes. Mr. Starr's a lovely gentleman.
I want some space, goddammit. Back. Get back now. I want some privacy. I want you guys back. You think I'm annoyed? I am. I want some goddamn privacy. Back. All of you. Away from the car. I mean it. Stop it. I'm entitled to a little bit of peace. I'll tell you what you're doing is you're pissing me off. Stop it. And I'm not going to talk to any of you anymore. I'm not going to talk to any of you anymore.
I am personally not aware of any
improper relationship between
the president and Monica Lewinsky.
Or any other White House intern.
57% of the people we polled said they think Mr. Clinton did have some sort of affair. If it turns out that the president lied under oath about it, 63% say he should resign.
Do you consider resigning from office?
Never.
According to the New York Times, the day after Mr. Clinton gave testimony to lawyers for Paula Jones, he asked Curry a series of leading questions, including, "We were never alone, right?"
These leaks make a mockery of the traditional rules of grand jury secrecy.
Sources tell us
Several sources have told us
A highly placed source says
ABC News has learned from sources.
ABC News has learned that CBS News has also learned.
We have an out-of-control, sex-crazed person that is running the thing.
Kathleen Willey, a longtime supporter, alleging a crude sexual advance 4 years ago.
He touched my breast with his hand.
I am mystified and disappointed by this turn of events.
President Clinton celebrated St. Patrick's Day as if he didn't have a care in the world. The president's job approval rating remains at a high 63%, unshaken by the Willey appearance.
And we're back once again with Barbara Walters and are joined now by New Yorker columnist Joe Klein, perhaps better known as Anonymous, the author of the best-selling book, Primary Colors. Joe, what do you make of that? We're only up to March of last year. Can you believe that, as we go through that?
I find that it's a period of my life and our lives that I'm not yet nostalgic for. You know, it was a culmination of patterns that we saw in Bill Clinton for many years, and also patterns that we saw in ourselves, in the media, in the country. 20 years worth of witch hunts building up to these events. And at the time, I think I wrote in the New Yorker that we would be remembered, this would be remembered as a period more for the ferocity of its prosecutions than the severity of its crimes.
Barbara, as I look at that, I'm at one and the same time taken by the fact that a lot of information was already known back in January and February and certainly by March. And on the other hand, we were so wrong about other things, about how quickly this would be over, for example, about how finished the president would be if this turned out to be true.
Let me tell you just some fast notes that I made as I was watching. First of all, what does the president think as he lies? What is he going to say tomorrow? Of course, he's going to say he hasn't seen it. He's going to go on as usual. What does he think as he deliberately lies to people? Remember that when this began, neither he nor Monica knew what was on the Linda Tripp tapes. Neither he nor Monica, although Monica knew, had not really exposed the dress. And finally, you get the feeling of this hideous year for Monica, who is only 25 today when you see those crowds and those people. But mostly what I'm curious about is, what does he say to himself as he's lying?
I rather doubt that we'll ever know the answer to that one, but when we come back, we'll be focusing on that blue dress, and a confession.
Remember life in the fast lane?
I do.
First you meet, then you get married, and things slow down.
Yeah, right.
To help you keep up, drive the supercharged Regal GS Sport Sedan. Plenty of room, standard traction control, and the most power in its class. And now, Regal comes with something that'll make it even easier to drive. Regal by Buick, official car of the supercharged family.
This is an extraordinary little device, this is. It places your data on a seamless global network, the only global network owned by a single company. Suddenly Paris, London, Brussels, Dusseldorf are 60 milliseconds away. 60 milliseconds. Now, don't you wish you could travel like that? Be careful what you wish for. OnNet from MCI WorldCom.
Every 60 seconds, someone suffers from a stroke in the United States.
Suddenly, my left arm was numb, and I went to the emergency room in the hospital.
A stroke is a blood clot in your brain. What the pharmaceutical companies are doing is giving hope to people who suffer from strokes and their families.
Well, I'm perfectly normal now, and I'm better than before.
We hope we've added a whole new quality of life to patients who have suffered from stroke.
Later tonight, watch Politically Incorrect and our reaction to the interview. It's all part of the Monica Marathon now in its second wonderful year.
Politically Incorrect with Bill Maher coming up on ABC.
Now that's a dog.
A sandwich just isn't a sandwich without the tangy zip of Miracle Whip.
When I wanted that perfect piece of waterfront property, Windermere found it for me. There was nothing on it except an old trailer and a deck. It was perfect. Love at first sight. A few days after I bought the property, I had a horrible accident, but I wanted to be back at the property. When I got there, there was a chaise lounge sitting there. My agent did that. That's Windermere. And you know what else? They made a donation to my favorite charity. Wish they'd have given it to me.
By April of last year, the president had not only survived the initial explosion of the Lewinsky story, he got some really good news when the judge in the Paula Jones matter dismissed the case.
It is clearly the right decision.
I was shocked because I believed that what Mr. Clinton did to me was wrong.
Does the dismissal of the Jones case essentially undermine whatever charges Kenneth Starr may be developing against the president?
The president did hold his first formal news conference of the year.
Do you stand by your previous denials of any relationship with her?
I have answered it repeatedly and have nothing to add to my former answer. I really believe it's important for me not to say any more about this. I cannot comment on those matters because they are under seal. The right thing for me to do is to let others defend me as best they can.
A major shakeup in the Monica Lewinsky investigation. A new high-powered legal team takes over the case.
We are the defense team for Monica Lewinsky.
Are you looking forward to telling your side of the story to the grand jury finally?
I am.
For the first time in history, a Secret Service agent testified today before a grand jury.
Sources say that Monica Lewinsky's long-sought cooperation with the investigation of the president began today.
Move back. What did I tell you guys? We're not coming back. Move back.
For her full and truthful testimony, she will receive transactional immunity.
I think that he's pleased that things are working out for her.
If they work out for her, it could sink him.
It certainly seems like everything is happening at once in the Monica Lewinsky investigation.
The sources confirmed that one piece of evidence is, in fact, the dress Lewinsky said she saved after an encounter with Mr. Clinton because it had a semen stain on it.
Charlie, the will he or won't he issue got settled today. The president will testify.
I'm you. I'm just like you. I'm an average American. I never, ever asked to be placed in this position. Thank you.
I am looking forward to the opportunity in the next few days of testifying. I will do so completely and truthfully. I am anxious to do it, but I hope you can understand why in the interim I can and should have no further comment on these matters. Thank you very much.
Same story that you told before. Will you voluntarily give a DNA sample if asked, sir? The president has now given a DNA sample to prosecutors.
This morning, Bob Woodward reports that Mr. Clinton's lawyers believe the president will admit he engaged in sexual activity with Monica Lewinsky, but will not admit perjury.
Senior advisors to the president
Sexual relations with Lewinsky. Another story has it that he will in fact
acknowledge an inappropriate
physical relationship.
This afternoon in this room, from this chair, I testified before the Office of Independent Counsel and the grand jury. Indeed, I did have a relationship with Miss Lewinsky that was not appropriate. I misled people, including even my wife. This has gone on too long, cost too much, and hurt too many innocent people. And I intend to reclaim my family life for my family. It's nobody's business but ours.
Instead of offering a fig leaf or an olive branch to his critics, he gave them a poke in the eye.
There is a lot of anger here from both Democrats and Republicans, people furious at his statement last night.
61% of those asked said they still approve of the way Bill Clinton is running the country. Both Monica Lewinsky and Linda Tripp are scheduled to appear again tomorrow before the grand jury, and Lewinsky's testimony is critical. Sources say she is prepared to say the president did not tell the truth either under oath or to the American people.
According to friends, she's having an extremely difficult time in the aftermath of the president's speech, which contained no apology to her or her family.
Today, I ordered our armed forces to strike at terrorist-related facilities in Afghanistan and Sudan because of the imminent threat they presented to our national security.
True, had the president not ordered military attacks this morning, Monica Lewinsky, back before the grand jury, would have led the news this evening.
Yesterday, the president's job approval rating was 60%. Today, it is 65%.
It is immoral, and it is harmful.
Rarely has a sitting president been so openly chastised by senior senators from his own party.
Do you have any comment on Senator Lieberman's remarks?
I've already said that I made a bad mistake. It was indefensible, and I'm sorry about it. I have been on quite a journey these last few weeks. So I ask you for your understanding, for your forgiveness on this journey we're on. I don't think there is a fancy way to say that I have sinned. And these have been the toughest days of my life. I have repented. And I have no one to blame but myself for my self-inflicted wounds. I will instruct my lawyers to mount a vigorous defense, using all available appropriate arguments.
And we're back once again with Barbara Walters and Joe Klein. Does either one of you understand, and Barbara, maybe you'll go first, how the marriage survives after what we have heard throughout this year, and particularly after what we heard in your interview with Monica this evening?
All through this last piece, I couldn't help thinking of Mrs. Clinton, who attended a private dinner tonight with pals and probably was laughing and seeming to have a good time. The president at a fundraiser, both of them, at least on the surface, untouched by all of this. I'm filled with great sadness for her, no matter what she may be showing. I just think it's so sad. But Joe, you know, you spent a lot of time. What do you think?
Well, my feeling has always been that with regard to their marriage, we should be indiscriminately credulous. We should believe everything. We should have believed from the start that he was cheating on her. We should believe that they fight like cats and dogs. We should believe that they have a political partnership. And we should believe that they love each other immensely. I think one of the things that I took from your interview with Monica, Barbara, was that the president is not deficient in the love zone. He's a guy who needs love from everybody and all the time.
Joe, I cannot believe that. I can believe the partnership, but I cannot believe that after the kinds of things that she must know, that she can just love him no matter what. I think it's far more complicated.
I think it's extremely complicated.
Let me very quickly just jump in and ask you both a question, because in your interview with Monica, Barbara,
yes,
she told you that at one point he not only told her, but she actually believed that he at the end of his presidential term, might leave Mrs. Clinton, and she thought to go with her. Was she just terribly deluded, or do you think at that moment there was some of that?
There were two things that made her think so. One was Vernon Jordan's sort of offhand remark, or maybe he was just being teasing, maybe you will have an affair with the president in 3 years. That gave her hope. And the president telling her, if indeed he did say that, and she says he did, that when he was, after he was married, he thought that he might even leave and be an honest garage mechanic, give up politics, and divorce his wife because he couldn't stand lying to himself, and then, pretty much for the sake of Chelsea, decided to stay with her.
Joe, 15 seconds, your
You know,
reaction.
when we watch these sort of clips, Ted, one of the basic rules that we get out of it is that whenever people like you or me speculate on these things, we make fools of ourselves, and or at least most of the time. I don't think we'll ever know unless, you know, the First Lady or the President chooses to tell us, and I think that the speculation about their marriages is one of the things that has hurt the media, has hurt us most in the minds of the public.
And on that note, let's take another quick break. A reminder to our affiliates that we're going long tonight, but that Politically Incorrect is still to come. What is still to come on Nightline? One of the most incredible documents ever to be compiled on a President of the United States, the Starr Report. That when we come back.
The drawing rooms of London had not prepared us for this new world. We were overcome by the very fruits and birds and trees.
Introducing British classics.
The air was thick with perfume.
A marriage of Victorian elegance and Caribbean soul.
The seduction was complete. It changed us forever.
British classics from Ethan Allen, where everyone's at home. The essential sale is on now.
Elevator to lobby. By George.
Contacts, $320. Treadmill, $800. Wonder Bra, $26. Facelift, $3,000. Being happy with who you are, priceless. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard. Happily accepted, most everywhere.
Recent studies have shown that the top 3 things teenagers enjoy doing most are listening to loud music, hanging out with their friends, and competing for lots of money on Jeopardy's teen tournament.
It's all about the Benjamins and the knowledge.
These teens have logged off the internet and strapped on their thinking caps as they compete for the teen championship and $25,000.
Hey, it's all good.
Catch all the adolescent action when some of America's brightest teens compete in the Jeopardy teen tournament.
Weeknights at 7:30 on KOMO, ABC4.
When was the last time an auto repair exceeded your expectations? At Waltz Auto Care Centers, it's guaranteed, including Waltz brake service, now as low as $49.95 depending on your vehicle's needs. For the Waltz location nearest you, call 1-888-GO-WALTZ.
Yeah, I can still take him one-on-one. It's with my pain I need a little help. That's why I use Icy Hot. It's like a 2-on-1 fast break. Goes on icy to dull the pain, then gets hot to relax it away. Because if I'm going to stop this guy, I got to stop the pain first. Ah!
We get really dry skin.
Dry, itchy skin.
For dry, itchy skin, these non-medicated moisturizers all fall short of new Gold Bond medicated body lotion. Triple Action Gold Bond moisturizes, protects, and stops itch. New Gold Bond medicated body lotion. More than a moisturizer, it's medicated.
They are just people. Normal in every way but one. They expect more from a truck than 99% of the world. We call them the 1%ers. With their demanding standards in mind, we introduced the completely redesigned GMC Sierra. One percenters, the wait is over. The all-new Sierra from GMC.
The doctor is in.
Why didn't somebody surgically correct that?
With bizarre tales from the bedroom.
Now she said I have to choose either her or the fruit.
And help for the heartbroken. Improve your love life. Watch Dr. Drew on Town Meeting Sunday at 6 on KOMO, ABC4.
In any other context, it would have been labeled as softcore pornography, but this was the evidence compiled by the independent counsel, in his case, against the President of the United States. The Starr report is released to the Congress and the world. Those charges are long and lurid, but surprisingly simple. They are all about sex.
Ms. Lewinsky was wearing a blue dress.
Yet, in their most damaging aspects, have nothing to do with sex at all.
Committed perjury.
Obstructing justice.
Abuse of power.
There is no credible evidence of impeachable offenses.
The videotapes of the president's testimony have just been handed over.
I do. I engaged in conduct that was wrong. I have been blessed and advantaged in my life with a good memory. I have been shocked at how many things that I have forgotten in the last 6 years. I don't remember that, sir. I just don't remember. I don't remember that. I don't remember that. I don't remember. I didn't remember the cherry chocolate.
70% of those asked believe the president was right to refuse to talk about sexual details.
I did not have sexual relations with Ms. Lewinsky.
You touched her breast. You kissed her breast. We touched her genitalia. You used a cigar as a sexual aid with her in the Oval Office.
And when asked if prosecutors were right to ask about those sexual details, 59% said they were wrong.
For only the third time in the country's history, the Congress will decide whether a president deserves to be impeached.
It's an onerous, miserable, rotten duty, but we have to do it.
It is not in my hands. It is in the hands of Congress and the people of this country. Ultimately in the hands of God.
The Democrats will pick up seats.
It's a mandate to liquidate the impeachment proceedings. In a stunning reversal of fortune, Newt Gingrich says he will not seek re-election as Speaker of the House.
The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Mr. Starr, good evening.
Good evening. How are you, David?
I'm very well, Ken.
Wake up, America. They are about to impeach our president. They are about to reverse two national...
I have ordered a strong, sustained series of airstrikes against Iraq.
Is there anybody who doesn't question whether or not President Clinton has political motives?
73% of those polled approve of the U.S. attack on Iraq.
The yeas are 228, the nays are 206.
President Clinton has been impeached.
William Jefferson Clinton will continue and will complete his mission on behalf of the American people. I'm proud to present to you, my friend, America's great president, Bill Clinton.
Hear ye, hear ye, hear ye.
Will all senators now stand and raise your right hand?
84% of those we polled say that their minds are definitely made up.
These acts of obstruction.
As for President Clinton's job rating, it is almost exactly where it was last year at this time.
This is not about sex. This is about obstruction of justice. This is about a pattern. This is about a scheme. This is about a lot of lies.
H.L. Mencken said one time, when you hear somebody say, this is not about money, it's about money. And when you hear somebody say, this is not about sex, it's about sex.
Clinton's won. They might as well dismiss this impeachment hearing and get on with something else because it's over as far as I'm concerned.
We have an excellent case without the witnesses.
In a saga so often defined by images, today Bill Clinton seemed destined to have the upper hand, leaving House manager sounding a somewhat desperate plea.
But the witnesses help you. We have narrowed it down to 3.
Monica S. Lewinsky.
He didn't discuss the content of my affidavit with me at all.
Vernon Jordan.
Through Betty Curry, I was acting on behalf of the president.
Sidney Blumenthal.
Do you believe the president lied to you about his relationship with Miss Lewinsky? I do.
Is the respondent, William Jefferson Clinton, guilty or not guilty?
Mr. Abraham, guilty. Mr. Wellstone, not guilty.
The Senate adjudges that the respondent, William Jefferson Clinton, President of the United States, is not guilty as charged.
I want to say again to the American people how profoundly sorry I am for what I said and did to trigger these events and the great burden they have imposed on the Congress and on the American people.
I waited a long time to be able to express to the country how very sorry I am for my part in this past year's ordeal.
And when we come back, I'll be joined once again by Joe Klein and Barbara Walters.
We help make lives more memorable. We help people love one another. We help keep families strong. We're the people of Pfizer. We develop medicines that make the world a better place. We spend over $2 billion a year on research. That's why we believe we'll introduce more new medicines for more diseases than anyone else. We're not just looking for cures, we're going to find them. Pfizer, life is our life's work.
An entirely different kind of Camry. It's for you.
It takes dozens of people to make a show come to life, and just one thing to stop it, a migraine. So for migraine pain, you know what I take? Excedrin migraine. It really works. It gives me the strong, fast relief I need. My doctor says it's the only non-prescription medicine that's FDA approved for migraine pain relief. So the migraine pain goes away, and I can get back to work, because the show must go on. Excedrin migraine. Trust me, it works.
Tomorrow, prostate cancer screening. Are you better off not knowing you have it? Can early detection bring unnecessary treatment? Watch ABC's World News Tonight with Peter Jennings.
We're all a part of the Circuit City customer service team. From the minute you walk in the door, our goal is to give you 100% customer service.
We want you to have the best shopping experience ever.
If you're looking for a new TV, Circuit City can make it easy for you. So you just tell us the size of your room, and we'll help you pick out the perfect TV and screen size.
Right now, you'll save on this 27-inch TV with stereo sound. Take control of your home theater with the universal remote and enjoy 2 shows at once with picture-in-picture. Now just $329.99. Plug into low prices at Circuit City.
We never thought we'd use OnStar for snakes.
I just hate snakes.
Yeah, traveling through Arizona, we blew a front tire. It shot off the road, and I looked down at the ground. It is crawling with rattlesnakes.
It was unbelievable.
I pushed the OnStar button. Within seconds, the OnStar advisor pinpointed our location and sent a tow truck.
Called the paramedics.
Yeah, and kept talking, because we
hate snakes.
Yeah.
The one-touch connection to people who can help.
OnStar.
Call 1-800-OnStar-7.
And back once again with Barbara Walters and Joe Klein. What a year it has been, and now that all has been said, what has been said, Joe?
Well, you know, watching Barbara's interview tonight, I was kind of struck by the fact that the private lives of great public figures has been the stuff of fiction forever. I did it in my little way, and people like Shakespeare did it far more profoundly. And when great artists do it, it can be uplifting and entertaining and even transcendent. But when we see it done in reality, as we've seen it done tonight, it's just kind of embarrassing and tawdry, and it diminishes all of us. And I think that, you know, 100 years from now, this period is going to be remembered kind of the way we look back on Salem.
Barbara?
Well, I'd like to go make a shorter distance than 100 years from now. I would hope that after tonight, that after a 2-hour interview, that we could finally put this behind us, that Monica Lewinsky can find some way to have what she seems to want most, which is a normal marriage and children, that Hillary Clinton, whom most people respect and admire, can get on with her life in whatever way she wants to, Senate race or not. And for the president and the presidency, I think that the next election will determine how turned off people are by politics and what kind of a president they want and how much effect all of this has on the sort of person they choose next. I would like it once and for all, and maybe tonight, with all of this is the night, that it could end and that we could all go back to something of dignity and integrity and feel good about ourselves.
All right. Let me hold on a second. Let me see if I can throw a little hand grenade into what both of you have said here, but especially you, Joe. This was not just the private affair of a public person. One of the reasons this thing has been as tawdry as it has been is because it was a very tawdry affair. This was not just an affair between two people of more or less equal age, carried on in even relatively dignified circumstances. It was just unbecoming from start to finish. It was unbecoming in the way, yes, that it was handled by the press, by politicians, but in large measure unbecoming because of the way in which the president himself handled it. So, you know, before you start slapping all kinds of blame around left and right, I think we need to bring it back to where it belongs.
Well, I mean, it's clear that his behavior was reprehensible, but, you know, in writing Primary Colors, I ultimately came to the conclusion that great politicians are like great steaks. There's muscle and there's fat. There's strengths and there are weaknesses, and they're marbleized. You don't get one without the other. And throughout history, I mean, what would we have done covering Franklin Roosevelt's White House during World War II when he was running a love commune there, according to Doris Kearns Goodwin, who wrote the history of it? I think that in part, what's happened here is that our relationship with politicians has changed, and it's changed for the worst, for the detriment of the public good, I think, long term, because it means in the end we're going to be governed by goody-goodies. We're going to be governed by the kind of people you hated in high school.
Barbara, you get the final word on all of this.
I couldn't disagree with you more. I don't think this means that everybody has to be prissy and goody-goody. I think it means that you have to have a sense of responsibility and that the President of the United States is in a unique position, and that we do have a press today that looks into things much more clearly, and I don't think that the answer is we have to have someone who's reckless but a great president, or someone who is a boring prude but doesn't do foolish things. There are many people who live very good and very honest lives and still have a sense of humor and a sense of where things should be.
Barbara, thank you for being on tonight, and Joe Klein, thank you very much. That's it. I'll be back in a moment.
It is a place where the finest is appreciated, in private. Because when one has truly arrived, there is no need to announce it. Park Avenue by Buick, the power of understatement.
More on Barbara Walters' interview with Monica Lewinsky, What the Nation Thinks, the results of an ABC News poll tomorrow on Good Morning America. And that's our report for tonight. I'm Ted Koppel in Washington. For all of us here at ABC News, good night.
Nightline is always on with abcnews.com, now part of the Go Network. If you'd like a transcript or video cassette of this or any other edition of Nightline, please dial 1-800-CALL-ABC.
Nightline has been a presentation of ABC News. More Americans get their news from ABC News than from any other source. abcnews.com, now a part of the Go Network.